Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for hanging with me on this Friday. And if you've taken some time out of your busy schedules to support my channel with likes and comments, I really do appreciate that. All right, so yesterday I gave you a scenario and a couple different baits that I really like to throw in the fall. Unfortunately, a lot of those baits, like a lipless crankbait, you need wind. A spinner bait, you need wind or low light. And then the topwaters are just specific. Some days bass just don't eat topwater. So I kind of want to give you some baits when nothing else will work. It's a slick, calm, bright, sunny day, and the fish aren't real active. You kind of got to just put the bait in front of them and soak it, but you still need baits that you can fish for fish that are kind of all over the place. So I'm going to give you 3 of my favorite baits when it's just gone completely dead. Maybe 4 baits, actually, now that I think about it, but they're just not biting, but you still need to figure out where they've gone because they are constantly moving as we get into the fall. So here's the deal when I'm in what I consider end of the summer, early fall. Fish are starting to really focus on pods of bait, and they're not so interested in structure anymore. It's more just about the bait. So they become pelagic. They're swimming all over the place. So anytime I drop the trolling motor, it's not about I'm going to get a bite here, I should fish here because I think tomorrow I can come back and catch one. It's areas. I'm going to put the boat where I think I can catch one in an area, and then whatever happened today or yesterday doesn't matter for tomorrow. I am just going to look for places where I think I can go catch one tomorrow. So what I'm doing is I'm going to cover a whole area. So I need baits that I can really fish fast and cover a lot of water. So the first one would be a Carolina rig. This is a lot better than a Texas rig in the sense that you can just fish it faster while it's still gonna be moving slowly. So I can, if I gotta fish a big long tapering point or the back of a pocket, I just get that thing moving. You know, I'm making some disturbance down there and I'm getting that bait going, but it's still going slower than a Texas rig, but I can cover more water with it, if that makes any sense. But that bait just covers water. So put whatever kind of buoyant trailer you are, or soft plastic on there, not trailer, but just whatever you want to rig up Texas style, if it's a brush hog or a lizard, and then just move, get moving. There'll be little places that are special sweet spots in an area, and doesn't necessarily mean you can come back to them, but it's a good start to go back looking for those fish that you got bit on yesterday. Now, the next one would be a jig. Now, a jig is kind of a specific fall time bait. This is when I go way up a river, or I'm in an area where it's obvious the fish are going to be. You know, if I'm fishing a creek channel and there's grass all along the creek channel and there's a hump on the side of that creek channel with grass all over it, I'm going to flip my 1-ounce jig. Now, if I'm way up a river, those bass are either going to be out in the river channel or they're going to be on that piece of cover. So I'm going to go flip my jig in laydowns, stumps, any type of wood that's in the water, and I can still cover a lot of water, cover all the unknowns, but there aren't a whole lot of those. There aren't a whole lot of places where a bass can go. If they're way up on a flat, you know, bass typically way up rivers don't do that. They stay close to the main river channel. So I'm going to go hit those targets, and then I'm going somewhere else. And I think a jig is just your bait. It's going to catch you bigger fish. And when it's on, it's on. When it's not, it's not. And when it's not, I'm going to go down the lake. I'm going to go look somewhere else. Now, when I do get in an area where there's fish schooling, it's kind of a mix of bass all over the place, schooling. I do to cover water, but I don't think they're on top. I don't think they're on the bottom. The mid-range is this small swim bait. You can get one with a blade on an underspin or just a straight swim bait, but slick, calm conditions, they still do bite this, and you can cover a lot of water. It's almost like post-spawn fishing. I just like to downsize my swim bait this time of year because a lot of those bass are feeding on smaller thread fins. So if you have a big flat where you know there's some fish, you can cover the whole thing, make 30, 40 casts, cruise down the bank with a trolling motor at, you know, 75 to 50 speed, whatever, and get in and get out of there. And maybe you get bit, maybe not. It's not always the most consistent bite. It seems random. You don't necessarily know where you're gonna get bit at, but it's just a good way to cover a likable fall flat spot. Now, the last one would be some type of topwater. But again, this isn't like I'm gonna go fish this one spot where I got bit yesterday. Fish are moving around a lot. you got to take that into consideration. So what typically will happen in the fall time, there will be a flat. It can be next to the main river channel, it can be way back in a creek, but there will be a big flat. Those are the best. Cover the whole thing. Now, you aren't necessarily going to pick up a big topwater walking bait to start out with. You're probably going to start that swim bait. You're going to drag that Carolina rig, and then you may see a big gizzard shad come up, flicker on the surface. Have that topwater walking bait ready. And topwater walking baits come in all sizes. You know, you could catch them on a big shower blows rather, or a super spook if you are on that type of lake. Or maybe you need to go down to a little topwater, like the Boyo. So there are a bunch of different topwater walking baits. I like them all depending on where I'm fishing at. But that's another one. You can cover water quick, and then you're going to get clues from the fish that are telling you, hey, look, they're feeding up in the water column. Gizzard shad are in the area. Big gizzard shad, little gizzard shad, whatever it may be. And then you have the exact bait that the fish are looking for. So those are my baits. You're going to get some slick, calm, sunny days. You may have to flip. You may have to topwater. You may have to cover a bunch of water on the bottom, subsurface, middle of the water column. You never know because that bait is always moving. But try those baits. Good luck to you guys, and I'll see you on the water.